That's right. It's a Dorco Pace 7 razor. This razor is of the same quality as Gillette, okay? The difference is, A, the money that you spend buying a razor doesn't go to the New England Patriots. No, it actually kicks back a small percentage to the Wrestle Talk podcast. The best part of it is, Jonesy, the quality is 100% there, dude, and it's cheaper. Cheaper than what you buy at the store, and the shipping is 100% free. I got this, which includes 2 packets, okay, or 2 refills, and a shaving cream and 6 extra razors for $24, bro. You can't go to the store and buy 5 cartridges to replace for your Gillette razor for under 20. I'm talking about a shaving cream and 7, not 5 razors, ladies and gentlemen. Our business relationship with Dorco is going to be very, very fruitful if you guys support. So we're not even going to ask you guys to buy anything new or anything different than what you would normally buy. All we're asking is that you buy Darko, which is available at WrestleTalkPodcast.com/merch booth. Check out our merch booth on the website. And all you got to do is click, and there's no contracts, Jonesy. No contracts. So you can keep your head nice and sleek and bald, and I can keep these chunky cheeks looking nice and fresh all the time the way my wife likes it. Because, you know, your boy used to have the big old beard, but the wife was like, if you don't shave, I don't shave. And it was cool until like the 3rd or 4th day. It was cool, bro, but then her legs started cutting me like sharp razors, bro. It was crazy. It's like she had razors attached to her thigh. So I gave up on my beard. So now I got to stay looking fresh all the time. Again, the money doesn't go to the Patriots like it does when you buy Gillette. You're helping the Wrestle Talk podcast. You're getting good quality. You're getting free shipping and no freaking contracts, man. You can't beat that again. That's the merch booth at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Jonesy, are you getting ready to run out and purchase your Dorco razors on the Wrestle Talk Podcast website? Because I know we need the money to keep this train moving, bro. So please tell me you're getting ready to do that right after today's show.
Absolutely. I definitely plan on doing that right after the show. I've got a couple friends that could definitely use that, so I'm going to shoot a message over to them as well and tell them, you know, about this awesome deal that we got going to get some razors that's cheaper than what you can get in the store, and they're just as good, if not better, than Gillette razors.
Right, and the most important part of all, Jonesy, the money doesn't go to the New England Patriots because it's the Gillette people that own the Patriots. So if you hate the Patriots, you have to buy Darko razors from WrestleTalkPodcast.com. It's just that simple. And look at these cheeks, bro. Look, I'm shining right now. I'm looking beautiful.
So that we can get Curtis Rock, Rick Maverick, and Ozzy Gallagher at Universe Mania this year.
Oh, geez, Louis. You know what?
I'm already talking that we're going to have them there, but they're running like $5K a piece. So we got to, we got to sell these razors, man.
Wow, yeah, let's go ahead and sell the razors. The beer mugs are still there, fully customized for $20 plus shipping. So look, that's just what we need to do to keep the show growing, guys. We hope to continue to do our watch party events, which we're expecting well over 100 people at Universe Mania 5 on the 7th at Esports in Shawnee. If you're in the area, you love pro wrestling, we've got some special guests that are going to be coming through. If you guys love local pro wrestling and want to see best of the best, get one-on-one, get some autographs, take some pictures and all that, man, make sure you guys are at Esports for Universe Mania 5. The Midwest's premiere, actually the world's premiere pro wrestling watch party, and that's just not me saying it, bro. The reviews are in. And we're killing it at Universe Mania. Dude, we had Gil Rogers at our last one. And Dallas Cade was there signing autographs and taking pictures. They were even giving stuff away. I mean, dude, come on. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. You know what else you can't beat, Jonesy? You can't beat the greatest country on God's green earth. So everybody, please remove your caps and put your hands over your heart as we pay homage to America, dang it.
Oh, say, can you see and the rocket red flag? Come on. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
Oh my goodness, so freaking awesome! Brings tear to my eye every single time, man. Every single time. So before we get into high spots, what are you drinking tonight, Renee?
Well, you know what? I was hanging out with my buddy, Big Beer Kenny, you know, of La Familia Worldwide. I was hanging out with Big Beer Kenny, and he is the redneck incarnate. And he brought over, it was funny, we were talking, he actually smuggled moonshine from Missouri into Kansas, because you know your boy lives right on the other side, right? I live on the Kansas side, he lives on the Missouri side. So some homemade strawberry lemonade and regular lemonade moonshine. So we said, hey, well, we had the big mason jars full, right? So he was like, yo, we need something to wash this down with. And I said, bro, there's only one thing to wash down a great Missouri moonshine, and that is a great Missouri beer. Boulevard, if you're watching, holla at your boy. We love a sponsorship agreement with you guys. This is Kansas City, Missouri's Boulevard Brewing Company Space Camper, okay? The Space Camper Cosmic IPA. So we're just going ahead and camp in space as we pour this into the Wrestle Talk podcast mug, Jonesy, which you'll have yours in just a couple of weeks when you make your way over to Kansas City from West Virginia, right? Because you actually have a glass waiting for you here in KC, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot wait. I am not drinking beer tonight. I'm actually stepping it up, and I made myself a rum and a Coke tonight. So I'm doing pretty good, and I must say I do make a very good rum and Coke. Let's just say.
Well, is this the same rum and Coke? Let me guess. You didn't use like 6 ounces of Devil's Cut in your own drink, right? You only serve me that way. 6 ounces of Devil's Cut and 0.6 ounces of Coca-Cola is how you did me that one time. It was awesome, actually. I really liked it. I just had to drink it really slow, bro.
So, you know, when I pour a drink, I go with a little bit heavy with alcohol, and I guess that's why I'm not a bartender, because I would probably have been fired.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, we're definitely going to have some cold ones when you make your way over to KC, man. I just want to take a brief moment before we get into high spots to thank Marcus for checking us out. Izzy, the legend, Izzy Richmond in the house. Jeremy always showing us love on his page, man. I love WrestleTech and everything you guys are doing over there, bro. Brandon Buck checking in. Michael Pettis, New Breed. We're going to talk about New Breed Wrestling here in a few minutes. So if you guys love New Breed, hang tight. Shout out to my partnership, my boy Dewan Mills, Luchador de Kansas City, and I got about another 6 names up above that I can't scroll up to anymore. So, man, thank you guys for being here. Please share this broadcast, and I love it when you guys tap the screen and the little hearts and smiley faces and stuff go across the screen. It always makes it look way cooler. But, yeah, that and sharing is everything to us, y'all. So thank you for being here, though. Shout out to Bones. I seen you on a poster, baby. I guess you ain't retired no more. And my man, the CEO of Heart of the Hustle, Anthony, also checking in, bro. But listen, all that said, Jonesy, I think it's time to get into a segment because, you know, I can go on for days, boy.
Intern Timmy, hit us with that drop.
Earth rings. We have now taken over your radio.
Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. You hit 'em low, hit 'em low, hit 'em low.
Oh my goodness gracious. What can we talk about tonight? Well, you know what? I want to go ahead and jump into this and talk about WrestleMania weekend. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, the wrestling in the Jersey area and New York area starts on Wednesday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So you can watch Monday Night Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, and then starting Wednesday, 7 o'clock, they got a pizza party wrestling in New Jersey. You're gonna have, you know, they got this show is gonna be absolutely crazy. They have you heard of a 60-minute Iron Man match, right? Night Owl, where they have.
Well, I have. Wait a minute.
Second.
Wait a minute. Let me just say this. I have had the opportunity to see a 60-minute Iron Man match, and I will say this: I've only seen one, but the truth is that I think I saw the very best one to ever happen, bro. And that 60-minute Iron Man match was between Mark Sterling and Jeremy Wyatt at Metro Pro Wrestling like 2 years ago, bro. For those that are from this area and you know what I'm talking about, and you were there or you heard about that match, sick, just insane 60-minute Iron Man match. But go ahead, carry on.
Oh yeah, so okay, so so obviously you've heard of the 60-minute Iron Man match, but they're stepping it up, and you're going to be able to see a 60-second Iron Man match between Dick Justice and Johnny Coxstrong. 60-second Iron Man match.
Well, based on our viewership, I may say that that's probably assuming a little much. Yeah, you guys can roast me. I don't care. Bring it. I ain't worried about none of y'all. 60 seconds seems like a long time considering our viewership pool, but that sounds ridiculous, Joe. That I don't even know where to go with that.
And at the same time, you can either go to that or you can go to EPWA Undeniable. That starts at 7. That's at the Rain Power Building in New Jersey. And this is actually one that I would want to go see because there are quite a few wrestlers that are wrestling at the show that I've had the opportunity to actually be in the ring and officiate their matches. Team Espana, Jose and Joe's B from Phoenix Pro, they're going to be there. They're going up against the American Pitbulls, the Stars and Stripes, which is Buff Bagwell and the Patriot, and the Dirty Blondes. You're going to see.
Wait. The Patriot? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you're talking about the Patriot that we've had on the show here before?
Either that Patriot or Tom Brady. There's usually there's only two Patriots. There's Dale Wilkes, and then there's Tom Brady.
Okay.
Who also does the Patriot.
So it was Dale Wilkes that we had on the show. He was a great guest. If you guys want to hear a lot of cool stories from back in the day from a guy that was right in the middle of it, go back to the Dale Wilkes episode. That was crazy, man. WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You can find our archive there. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, that was great. But that sounds pretty dope for you. Are you going to go to any of these shows, Jonesy? Because you sound pretty excited about it.
No, because I'll be in Kansas City at the time. Well, I mean,
that's right.
I would
Duh.
like to, but I save up my money to go to Kansas City. I mean, you got the American Murder Society versus Tough Guy Inc., which is Brutal Bob Evans and Tim Hughes.
I've seen them.
I mean,
I've seen Tough Guy Inc., dude. Uncle Bob, dude, he's the coolest, man.
Yes.
Uncle Bob. Well, Tim's cool too, but
Yes.
Bob Evans is the man. He's actually doing a seminar this weekend in Denver or somewhere in Colorado. Shout out to Kit Reaver and Leo D that I know are going to make their way out there. And I think also Hype Man Pinky, who was on the show a couple of weeks back. They're all making a trip out to Colorado. Shout out to Bob, man. I'm a big fan of that dude.
Yeah, oh my goodness. And of course, you can't forget there also is MLW Rise of the Renegades. I'm going to tell you this right now. After we talked to Selena Del Rey the other day, the last week, I checked out an MLW show on YouTube, and it was absolutely amazing. I fell in love with MLW. It is something that is just
Battle Riot.
Is absolutely.
Bo, listen, if anybody's on the fence, and I'm with you, Joe, I'm just co-signing what you're saying. If anybody's on the fence about Major League Wrestling, first of all, you're dumb, okay? Number two, we had Selena De La Renta on, and she was a freaking class act. I'm a huge fan. And number three, just go to YouTube and look up Battle Riot. Look up last year's Battle Riot. That's all you got to do. Just watch that show and tell me you didn't think that was the sickest thing you've seen in the last couple of years. I mean, you know what a big fan I was of Lucha Underground, bro. MLW is ripping it, and if you need more evidence, like I said, you guys go check out Battle Riot. And by the way, I think Selena De Laurenta put in a good word for us with the brass over at MLW. So we may have some more MLW guests coming on the show here very soon, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do it on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Act like you know.
So freaking awesome. Like, so awesome. And, you know, and then, you got Impact Wrestling, United, we exchanged Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix against Rob Van Dam and Sabu.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is it, bro.
Match, Shane Callahan against Jimmy Havoc. Oh my goodness, there's just so much stuff going on. And that's just like Wednesday through Thursday, and then Friday you got oh my goodness.
Jonesy, wait a minute. Weren't we supposed to be picking which ones we wanted to go to? I didn't think we were going to go through each one by one. That's not what we talked about.
It's too hard to pick one by one.
All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Finish breaking it down, and then we'll pick one show from each day if somebody had a gun pointed to your head. And if y'all want to call in and be a part of the conversation about, like, what show other than WrestleMania would you go to in the next 2 weeks where all these crazy-ass shows are happening, we want you to call in. That number is 657-383-1521. 657-383-1521. Call in. Don't be a bum. 657-383-1521. Go ahead, Jonesy. Finish breaking it down, boy.
Oh my goodness! And like I said, that's just Wednesday and Thursday night, and then you got Friday night. You got another MLW show. You got Interspecies Wrestling. Now some of these are a little bit crazy. Like for instance, Interspecies Wrestling, Burner Jam 4 Balls Out. That's the actual name of the show, and they have the King of the Crazy Championship match where the fans bring the Legos.
Oh man, every time I think about the Legos, bro, geez, Louis. And listen, I still have some little ones, so it's still very clear and present danger for me. That makes my skin crawl a little bit, just to be honest with you.
I mean, if you've ever stepped on a Lego with a bare foot, you know that pain. You know that pain that you have, and oh my goodness, there's so much stuff going on. Like it'd be almost impossible to say, okay, you know, I'm going to go to this one because at the same time that this is going on, you got another show going on just an hour away that you want to see just as much. Like you got Black Label Pro Wrestling. I definitely would want to go see that. Ethan Page, Nick Gage, the Space Pirates, Space Monkey, and Shane Saber.
I seen Space Monkey, dude. I seen Space Monkey at Anarchy, dude. That character, that pro wrestler is one of the most entertaining. Bro, you know what he does when he gets knocked out? Like he'll get laid out outside the ring because you know guys will be out there selling on the outside of the ring. Bro, he'll eat bananas. Like you know how Mario eats a mushroom and it kind of helps him get some power, dude. It's so it's the best thing ever. Dude, it's so good. And you think it's a kid's gimmick, but it's not because Space Monkey goes hard, dude. Goes freaking hard, kid.
Yeah. And the match, the show that I would definitely go to, it's on Saturday.
All right.
2:00 at the New York City Arena in New York. You are going to see Low Key and LAX against the Great Muta, Pentagon Jr., and Tajiri.
Oh.
That match alone.
Wow.
That match alone would be worth the, $20 or whatever it costs to go see that. And that's House of Glory. So, I mean, just insane.
Dude, that's freaking wild to me, man. And you know what? You brought up Pentagon, man. Something that you guys, you know what? Intern Timmy, go ahead and cue up that breaking news drop for me real quick. because I got some news revolving the world of Lucha Libre that you guys are going to want to hear exclusively here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Intern Timmy, hit me with the breaking news. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, fans of the Wrestle Talk podcast, some breaking news here tonight. That's right, you can put down your Twitter machine because we'll do all the hard work for you while you're enjoying the Wrestle Talk podcast. A little bit earlier today, as we were scrolling through Instagram, we saw a post by the club Lucha Libre reporting from Arena Ciudad, Mexico, and it has been confirmed that not only has this gentleman been signed, he will also be appearing at the upcoming Triple Mania, which is their version of WrestleMania. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who can lay claim to actually really truly bringing them pause to Brock Lesnar. That's right, man. The Aztec Don, Cain Velasquez, has officially signed with Triple A Lucha Libre of Mexico, bro. Huge news. Congratulations to Cain Velasquez. I thought he was a great entertainer when he was in UFC. He's an outstanding athlete and competitor, obviously, in his own craft. And I think this transition to Lucha Libre will be awesome because it will not only allow him to display his physical attributes, but it'll also allow his personality to come to the forefront a little bit. So I'm very excited as a guy who's not even a huge MMA guy, as you guys know. I know that name, and it resonates in the world of pro wrestling. Why? Because Cain Velasquez legitimately put them pause on Brock Lesnar, which is something that Seth Rollins is going to attempt to do 7 days from this Sunday. So, breaking news. What'd you think about that, Jonesy? I think it's kind of a big deal, bro.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and it seems that you see that a lot. Where you know you're getting this UFC stars that are transitioning to pro wrestling, and I think it's awesome. Like Cain Velasquez is going to be absolutely awesome in the wrestling ring. I can guarantee you he is going to be freaking a beast in the wrestling ring, and you know, so hopefully this will actually bring in more people from UFC. Like I would like to see myself. I would like to see Conor McGregor because he's a trash talker. Like he loves to talk trash. But see, I don't know if he'd be able to transition from UFC to the WWE because they do things differently. Or even if that is WWE, but any professional wrestling. But I think that would be awesome. Absolutely.
Well, you know what's crazy, Jonesy? I saw this a little bit earlier, and you know how people are on the internet. They doctor pictures all the time, or they'll bring out old pictures from back in the day that don't have anything to do with the present, but then they'll kind of caption it in a certain way to make you think. Here's what I saw. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I thought it was pretty interesting. I saw Rob Gronkowski in a picture with several WWE superstars, including Mickey James and Braun Strowman, and I think Jon Stewart was in there. It was for like USO, some sort of I don't remember what the event was, and maybe it's not something recent, but I did see him in a picture with many and several WWE superstars. So now that Rob Gronkowski has retired, and we know that he's made his appearance already in WWE, he's made his debut, so to speak. What do you think the chances are that Rob Gronkowski makes the jump and dives into the world of pro wrestling?
I think that it is a very, very good possibility. He wouldn't be on the road as much as he was when he was a football player. So he'd have more time with his family, and I think that would be awesome too. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get somebody else's opinion on things. And we have a very special guest that is called into the podcast, and as somebody we haven't heard from for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on to you the man, the myth, the legend, Luke Skywalker Roberts. What's going on, sir?
Well, gentlemen, it's always an honor and a privilege to be here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. And I got to tell you, tonight's going to be a great show. I mean, we got Chris Roedel coming on later tonight. A lot of great things happening. I mean, it's WrestleMania season, guys. And like I said, you were talking about pro athletes, and a lot of pro athletes now making decisions about what our future is going to hold. And I mean, if you go back all the way to the early times of the professional wrestling world, you look at a lot of professional wrestlers who made the original jump from coming from professional football. And I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of names, not only in pro football, as you had said, Renee, like Rob Gronkowski. You've got people like Conor McGregor as of late. I mean, a lot of big names. I mean, again, you look at the success of a Ronda Rousey, who made the jump over from the world of MMA to professional wrestling. But again, by the same token, it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you will, because there are some that have made that transition and made it very seamlessly. But others, and I mean, again, we could go on for an entire show of wrestlers who made the jump from other sports and didn't fare so well.
Well, you know what? It's interesting that you say that when you think about jumping from one genre to another. We have also another very special caller, and we'll hope that you'll hang on the line with us, Luke Roberts, for a little while so we can chat. But when I think transitions, there's been some pretty interesting ones. You know, Deion Sanders going from baseball to football. We've seen, Bo Jackson do the same thing. We've seen MMA people are starting to make the jump over to the world of pro wrestling. But one that I find the most interesting is one that we're going to get to experience firsthand tomorrow night, as we get an opportunity to see the first person that I think has ever successfully transferred from the world of porn to the world of pro wrestling. Here to talk to us a little bit more about that, and Joey Ryan, ladies and gentlemen, one of the owners of Journey Pro Wrestling, Journey Pro out of Kansas City, my boy Walter. What's the deal, homie?
Hey, Renee, how you doing, man?
How you like that intro, bro?
I liked it very much. That was pretty cool. I think the best thing we could say is Joey Ryan was a multi-sport athlete. He was a wrestler, and
I think he continues to be
at the same time.
Dude,
really interesting career arc on that guy. Honestly, he's been around for a long time. He's like a 19-year vet.
Well, you know what, Walter? I gotta admit, man, you guys have been having these 18 and over shows now for a couple of months, and it's like every show you're upping the ante a little bit. And the demographic, bro, they're loving it. They want more. I mean, the last show we saw Marty Bell turn heat on Shotzi Blackheart, and we saw Chris lose his freaking mind at the end of the show, and everybody's absolutely eating it up. From what I hear, you guys have just a handful of GA tickets left, man. I know I'm excited to be there. The wife is so excited that she was like, yo, I want to go to that show. And she never really wants to come to shows. She's like, yeah, but that one's a little different. I want to. And she's like, there's a bar there, right? I'm like, well, yeah, hell yeah, there is. So we're going to be at Kansas Hall tomorrow night, man. I know I'm excited for what the girls are going to do, especially because of the last show. But can you tell us a little bit more about what's going down tomorrow night, man? Because I know the whole card is fire, top to bottom.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to having you guys out there, dude. I told somebody this the other day. I was like, we keep upping the ante on these cards. Eventually, we're going to have to disappoint y'all. Eventually, we won't be able to raise it anymore, and then it'll just be the same. And I hope you guys will stick around. Now, I'm sure you will.
We will, bro. We're here to stay.
There's like 5 matches on this. Man, there's 5 matches on this that I would watch as a main event just as a fan. I can tell you that right now. I think the returning Moonshine Mantel, he was known as Maverick in the NWL against Jake something, is going to be incredible. If you aren't familiar with those guys, they're going to be real impressed.
Walter, please tell me.
Wyatt has taken on him.
Hey, wait a minute. Please tell me you reinforced the ring for that match. I mean, these guys got muscles to throw away. Between Jake something and Maverick, bro, I'm afraid they're going to break the ring.
We'll make sure that we get the boards down perfectly and we get everything stabilized out. We have the advantage of an excellent ring, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Nice.
We got some other bigger boys coming in the next few months though, so we're gonna have to really look at that.
Awesome.
But the one I'm most excited about personally, and there's a lot on that card I'm excited about. Hallow Wicked is actually like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I've been watching that guy for going on 20 years. He, of course, was the first Young Lions Cup champion in Chikara and was the first, one of the first class of trainees of that school, which was trained by Mike Quackenbush and Chris Hero.
Wow.
So that guy's a legend, and he and Jeremy Wyatt are going to put on an absolute clinic, I can guarantee it.
Wow. I'll tell you what, we were talking about Jeremy Wyatt earlier today. We were talking about Ironman matches, and my partner Jonesy said something about a 60-second Ironman match, which I still don't know what the hell that is. But I saw one years ago at Metro, bro. You were probably there too, bro, with him and it was, I think he had one with Strider, and then he had one with Sterling as well, and they were both freaking incredible, man. Your Gateway champion, bro. He's jumping between Kansas City and St. Louis, and he's now defended that title successfully 8 times. Is Hallowicked going to be the guy to take it or what, bro? Because a lot of people are wondering.
We tried to find guys who, we've tried to find guys who can beat Jeremy Wyatt in a variety of styles. Between us and St. Louis, we got the best. St. Louis brought in the best. Anarchy brought in the best technical wrestler maybe on the planet, and Jonathan Gresham. Couldn't beat him. We brought in a high flyer in Matt Cross, who's pretty close to the top of that list. Couldn't beat him. They brought in a Hoss and Larry D this last weekend. Couldn't do it. Sharkbait put on a great fight.
That was a badass match, bro.
Surprise opponent.
Sharkbait was it.
And that was something that we, and we had to put that together at the last minute because, of course, we had some cancellations due to weather, and so I thought, okay, maybe Jeremy doesn't have time to prepare for Sharkbait, so maybe he's going to be vulnerable here. No, still beat him. So we're gonna bring in somebody who has as much experience as Jeremy does. See if we can get that. See if that veteran's advantage really comes through for him. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night.
No doubt, and it's not many times that you have somebody come in with a veteran's advantage over Jeremy Wyatt. But I do have to go back and ask this question because I know you're a little short on time. You guys are getting ready for tomorrow's show. So are we ever going to see, and you said, there were some cancellations. We all know Dak Draper wasn't able to make it because of the crazy snowstorm, both in Kansas City and over in the Baltimore area where he's residing now. Are the fans ever going to get that match between Dak Draper and Jeremy Wyatt? Because I think that's what everybody wants to see, bro.
I don't know if you were at the very last Metro Pro show that happened after the NWL shut down.
I was.
That was actually their main event there, and it was an incredible match. And yeah, man, I'd love to put it together sometime. Dak's getting busy, and he's got a lot of stuff going on. I'm really happy for his success, which makes it harder and harder for him to make the trek out from Kansas City. But I assure you, if that's an opportunity that presents itself, I would love to do it.
That's what the fans want to hear, bro. Well, just real quick, Luke Roberts, Nightmare Jones, I know you guys have been, keeping your ear to the ground of all the great things that are going on with Journey Pro. I know you, Joe, out in West Virginia, have been hearing some good things all the way out there, which is incredible. And Luke, I know you in the St. Louis area as a staple, a guy that's been around that area for 20 years. What are you guys hearing about Journeyman, and does it make you excited to see that finally the resurrection of Kansas City wrestling is happening? Jeez Louise, you guys know I've been suffering over here. It's been killing me. Go ahead, guys. What do you got?
Well, I got to jump in. Renee, I got to jump in here right now, and Walter, I got to agree with you. It's going to take a phenomenal in-ring competitor to defeat Jeremy Wyatt. The man. Again, I've been around pro wrestling a long time, and Jeremy Wyatt is a man. He's going to go out there. He's going to tell you exactly how it is. He's going to bring it to you each and every time. And like you said, I don't think there's a style that Jeremy Wyatt cannot adapt to. You look at it, high flyer, technical brawl, you name it, the man's done it. And I got to tell you right now, when you look at the world of professional wrestling, not just Kansas City, but around the Midwest, Jeremy Wyatt is a name that a lot of people, if you don't know who he is, you definitely need to get familiar with, because I'll tell you right now, it's going to take a phenomenal in-ring competitor. And I myself, being here in St. Louis, imagine seeing Hallowicked and Jeremy Wyatt is definitely something that would pique my interest as a wrestling fan. And I got to say, Jeremy Wyatt better bring his A game if he wants to keep that moniker as being one of the best in the area.
No doubt, Joe.
I completely agree with you. And if those people who are out of town, it will go up on independentwrestling.tv as soon as this is all filmed and produced. So if you don't get the chance to watch it tomorrow night, I highly recommend that you watch it on independentwrestling.tv whenever that becomes available. We actually have a promo code. You can get 20 days free by using the promo code JOURNEY. And there's a lot of good stuff on there. But, yeah, he has the same advantages that Wyatt does, I think, in that Hallowicked can work a number of different styles. He's not dedicated to one style, so he can change his game up sort of on the fly, and I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
No doubt. Shout out to my boy Josh that does a lot of that editing and filming work. That's a good guy right there, man. I love Josh. Joe, why don't you step in here real quick, bro? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I want to talk about the women's matches because Renee keeps on talking about Shotzi Blackheart and Marty Bell. Can you explain exactly what had happened? Like Marty
that
Bell
was crazy,
like,
bro. It was crazy.
Renee, you want to take that one, or you want me to?
No, Walter, you go ahead, bro. I'll probably end up screwing it all up, bro.
Right.
I know Christian Rose was there. I mean, I guess I could tell it, bro. But you're the one that played a part in putting all that together. I think you're better served letting you tell the story.
I'd be happy to. So originally that was going to be a triple threat match between Quinn McKay, who's really making a name for herself, Marty Bell, and Shotzi Blackheart. Well, Quinn was coming in the same car load with Dak from Baltimore, so when he got laid up by weather, she couldn't make it. So it turned into a one-on-one no disqualification match. They fought all around the bar. At one point, they took shots with Nick Chin, the referee. Shotzi got suplexed on the stage.
Yup.
They fought their way back to the ring. Shotzi got the win. And after the victory, Christian Rose, who has just recently recovered from a health scare, came out and let the whole world know exactly what he did, what he thought of Shotzi Blackheart. He really put the boots to her.
I hate that dude.
And the whole crowd thought Marty was going to help her out and chase him off. And she joined forces with him, held her down to the ground while he berated her, and the whole all of Kansas Hall let him know what they thought about that.
Hey, I will only add this, gentlemen. I'm not going to say I saw it coming, but listen, I'm married to a very beautiful Mexican woman, and I know how Latina women are. If you guys thought that wasn't already inside Marty Bell, you don't know Latina women. They are out of their minds. She caught everybody else by surprise, though. It was wild.
No, and I think she explained herself really well. She was forced to smile and be nice and hug and shake hands with a lot of fans during her full times with the NWL that she didn't care for, and she finally just snaps. She had enough. She was tired of being that person. That's not who she really is, and I think she showed us exactly who she is last show.
Wow, no doubt. Well, listen, Walter, out of respect to time, man, just do me a favor, one last big favor. Tell the people what they need to know for tomorrow's show. How can they grab those last little handfuls of tickets? I know that I can tell you guys, when I go there, you better have your ticket ahead of time because you're really running the risk of being left out in the cold. So what do people need to know to make sure that they lock in their tickets before tomorrow night, man?
All right, man. Yeah, you're right. We have, last I checked, we had just a handful remaining, and I bet by the time I hang up this call, we'll have seen that handful dissipate even a little more. But if you go right now to journeyprokc.com, see if there's any GA left. Front row, you're way out of luck. Those have been sold out for a couple months now. But there are just a few scant general admission tickets left. We are going to have a few that we'll give out, that we'll let some people in at the door to really fill it in, but it's not going to be much. If you're not getting your tickets now at journeyprokc.com, that place is going to be too full, man. We're on the very, very edge of a full sellout.
Wow, man, that's incredible. You guys got a great venue there. Shout out to the wonderful folks at Kansas Hall. Well, Walter, thank you for being here, bro. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and enjoying one of the matches standing beside you. Bro, as always, if you need anything, you know Wrestle Talk is here to serve, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be an incredible night tomorrow night, and I think we still got a couple of tricks up our sleeves. So looking forward to seeing you there and everybody else. Thank you guys so much for making this our second sellout in a row and only our third show. It means the world to me. We're not anywhere without you guys.
All right, awesome. Last question, just to see if we can catch you off guard. Who wins, Charlotte, Becky, or Ronda? Right now, one-word answer.
Becky's going to win. She's going to beat Charlotte.
Woo! I like it. Unify the belts. Take it easy, Walter. Catch you tomorrow night.
All right, take
Peace.
Wow.
Guys, I know you want to jump in here. I just have to say this. We have top flight promoters just calling into the show the day before their shows. Luke Roberts, you've been in this business a long time. Nightmare, you've been in this business a long time. You know how hectic it is the day before the show, and for them to find time to call into the, the blue collar brawlers, the Wrestle Talk podcast is very humbling. Thank you, Journey Pro. We wish you guys all the best, and we cannot wait for tomorrow night's show, right? You guys know how it is. Isn't it awesome or what?
Oh, I gotta tell you right now, Renee. I gotta tell you right now, the idea of being able, and like you said, a lot of promotions, Journey Pro having an event tomorrow night, Dynamo Pro Wrestling having an event last week, and having one that's coming Saturday. And I know my broadcast colleague Chris Roedel is going to be more than bringing everybody up to speed later on tonight. I can tell you right now, especially this time of year, like I said, it's something about WrestleMania season that brings out the best in everything, whether it comes to professional wrestling here in the Midwest, around the country, or the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. I mean, again, this is prime wrestling season. I got to tell you right now, it's a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. It really is.
Well, I know it is. And Jonesy, I wanted to ask you this as well. Bro, I know in your area, I know we listed off a bunch of the shows that are going on. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we got Jay Hollywood ready to come on the line here in just a second. He's in the bullpen, ready to throw some 99-mile-an-hour pitches here on the Wrestle Talk podcast tonight, episode 239. But in your area, I know this upcoming weekend, you guys got a ton, because I know we have New Breed Wrestling, which I got some huge news about New Breed that's going to happen a little bit later this year in the Wrestle Talk podcast. We've got this amazing relationship that we're building. We're going to have an opportunity to do an extended one-on-one interview with quite possibly one of the most underrated but yet well-known wrestlers from the ECW era. Jerry Lynn. Thanks to the wonderful folks at New Breed. They'll be working this Saturday, and then KCX was supposed to have a show. Unfortunately, their venue situation didn't pan out, which we already know what happens. But they will be back for April Slam, so guys, don't worry about that. But Jonesy, I know in your area you got a pretty busy weekend coming up as well, don't you?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, again, when you look at professional wrestling in the St. Louis area, Dynamo Pro has got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to tell you right now, Renee, Dynamo Pro Wrestling and the Wrestle Talk podcast have been very well known for many, many months now, going on years. And I'm going to tell you right now, this summer, there's going to be a lot of events. I know you want to check out WrestleTalkPodcast.com, check it out on Facebook and on Twitter. There are several major announcements that are going to be coming down the pipe. I mean, literally in the next few days. I've got a couple. It's taken every fiber of my being not to make these announcements tonight, but I got to tell you right now, guys, there are a couple of these events. I mean, coming up soon. Like I said, we're in the final negotiation stages for this year's Ride on the River tournament. We've got a lot of events going on. I said a great weekend in DeSoto. And I got to tell you right now, guys, in the St. Louis area, there are a lot of things happening in pro wrestling. And like you said, Renee, if you want to know about them, that place to keep up on them, besides following all the wonderful world of social media, is right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
No doubt. Jonesy, bring us up to speed with what's going on in your area, bro.
Oh my goodness. Well, one of the big shows that we have coming up in Hagerstown on Friday, actually, tomorrow. Friday is Big Time Wrestling, but you're going to see Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Jeff Jarrett. So if you're in the Hagerstown area, this is your opportunity to see some of those great wrestlers, that you used to, from the NWO. And then on Saturday, April the 6th, you got SSW, April Anarchy coming on. And there's just so much stuff going on in the area. And, from HECW to EPPW to SSW just last Saturday had a amazing show at the Harley Davidson place to raise money for autism, and they ended up raising over $5,000 for autism. So it was a double feat. So yeah,
dude,
some pretty big stuff going on, man.
Well, there is some huge stuff going on, and you know what? it makes me really excited because I know that this time of the year is kind of like the Christmas for pro wrestling fans. Whether you're an old school fan or a new school fan, there's always something for everybody. I mean, dude, we kicked off the show talking about the tremendous amount of shows that are just happening from Wednesday to Sunday next week in what we would call WrestleMania week. But there's a guy who always keeps his finger on the pulse of pro wrestling, not so much as an analyst, but more as a fan. And he's such a huge fan that he occasionally will bring pro wrestlers onto his show and talk to them about all the wonderful things that they've done and that they're doing. And of course, you guys already know who I'm talking about. Fresh off his interview with the NWA champion Nick Aldis, which I had the pleasure of seeing over at World League just a couple of weekends ago. Welcome back to the show, one of the most beloved members of the Wrestle Talk Familia, our boy, Jay Hollywood.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've been working on that one, Jay Hollywood.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
What's up, bro? Let's get right to it, bro. You talked to Nick Aldis. Huge deal, bro. Right off the bat, what did you get out of that opportunity, man?
Man, I mean, it was just fascinating. Like I told him in the beginning, I'm like, my 14-year-old self has to really kind of contain myself because I literally uttered the words, I'm talking to the NWA heavyweight champion of the world. And it's just really, like I told him, man, what Billy Corgan and those guys have going on over there, it's dope, man. I dig it. They're filling that void that has presented itself these last maybe 10 plus years of WWF being the only show in town. And per what you guys just mentioned, all the different territories, all the different promotions, all the different basic territories, it's beautiful because it's kind of a return to the territory days. And cats like Billy Corgan and Nick Aldis, the heavyweight champion, are going around to different territories throughout the world. And Nick is defending his heavyweight championship. It's beautiful, man. They're doing hell of numbers, as you guys already know. All In sold out in like 30 minutes. Their Las Vegas show is already sold out. It's a beautiful thing, man. And the timing of it is absolutely perfect. Like, the world of professional wrestling is very cyclical. And they're not only taking advantage of that void, because WWE's been the only show in town for the most part, they're taking advantage of this weird new thing we all have called the internet and internet streaming. So all you need is a brand and a good following, and you don't need a TV deal necessarily. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Dude, it is a beautiful thing to see. And I know my boy Luke Roberts and Nightmare Jones are itching to jump in here, but right away I gotta tell you this. I know you're a little jealous because I know you're a big Billy Corgan fan. I got an opportunity to meet him at WOW. You didn't get to. Take that, loser. All right, and then number two, bro. I had this amazing story to read. It's very short, but I wanted to read it with you here because I know what a huge NWA mark you are. You said, hey, my 14-year-old self got all fired up about talking about the NWA champ. Let me tell you a story about an NWA champ that that Harley Race told. It's very short. Listen and enter to me. Be ready with my laugh drop because trust me, after this, it's going to be warranted. All right. This story told by Harley Race in Dusty, Reflections of a Wrestling American Dream. Here goes the story. It says, Dusty won the NWA World Heavyweight title in Tampa, and the following night we were in Key West for Fantasy Fest. I booked a charter flight. Dusty rented a Learjet. I got there just in time to see the big parade, and Dusty was in it. 3 beautiful women jumped on the float with him. Dusty grabbed one of them and kissed her, and then he kissed the second one. At this point, he realized he had just swapped spit with 2 guys dressed in drag. The third looked at him and said, aren't you going to kiss me, big boy? That's the story.
Oh, my goodness.
Straight from the mouth of Harley Race. Where's my laugh drop? Damn it, I'm waiting. Man, I
the
can.
American dreams have turned strictly jiggly, baby.
Yeah. Dude, I thought you would dig that story. And another story that's putting a big smile in wrestling fans.
Come on, who hasn't accidentally swapped spit with a man? Come on, it's happened to the best of us. I joke.
Okay, thank goodness. Okay, other thing The other thing that's got the wrestling world all fired up today, this is something that you may not have heard early on in the show, Jay Hollywood. The aforementioned man who put the hands to Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, signed a contract with AAA down in Mexico City, Mexico, right off the bat before Rob and, or I should say Luke Roberts and Nightmare Jones jump on it with you. Bro, what are your thoughts on that? Is that a big deal? Because I'm very, very excited about it.
Who did you say he signed with? I'm sorry.
AAA down in Mexico.
Oh, wow. I mean, you know, we've talked about this before, man. There's a finite window of fighters and of wrestlers. And Cain hasn't really been on a winning streak at all lately. He just lost again very quickly. And you got to maximize your dollars while your name still means something, man. I mean, I can't knock his hustle in any way, shape, or form, man. Continued success to my man.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And we're talking to a guy who does a show with a UFC Hall of Famer, you know, Pat Miletich. So obviously your opinion counts in this. Luke, why don't you jump in here? I know you're very familiar with Jay Hollywood and his work, and there's a lot going on in the world pro wrestling right now that we can cover.
Well, I got to tell you right now, first of all, I got to say having Jay Hollywood on the program, it's always great to talk to Jay Hollywood. I got to tell you, I know it's going to be the third time, but hearing that interview with Nick Aldis, like I said, the 14-year-old Luke Roberts, the 5-year-old Luke Roberts kicks out the idea of saying, having the opportunity to be, and Jay, you hit it right on the head, interviewing the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I've had an opportunity to meet a couple of individuals, Scrap Iron Adam Pierce, former multi-time NWA champion, the Tokyo Monster Kahagan, having Nick Aldis on your program. And again, the territories surprisingly are coming back. I mean, again, you look at All In, I mean, you look at Double or Nothing, 4 minutes. I mean, that thing is just incredible. Yeah. And I got to tell you right now, when you sit here and you look at things like that, I mean, that shows how much wrestling is. I mean, again, it's hitting another very good stride. I also got to say, too, with Cain Velasquez, to me, I look at it from a point of view, and Jay Hollywood was very, very good about it, the idea of saying you got to maximize the dollars while you got the chance. To me, I look at it, do we see Cain Velasquez at a Triple Mania, much like a Brock Lesnar at the WWE WrestleMania? I mean, again,
I do.
That as a huge signing. I really do. I have to say kudos to AAA for making such a huge acquisition. Now the question, as we talked about earlier, we got to throw out there, gentlemen, is there going to be a future? What happens with Conor McGregor? I mean, that just gives so many wild cards, especially this time of year. It's just unreal.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, Jay. Like I said, I would love to have your insight with everything that's been going on here too, because there are so many names, not just
Rob Gronkowski. Luke, we talked about earlier, Jay Hollywood. I don't know if you heard about Rob Gronkowski potentially being linked to the WWE. I mean,
I heard about this.
It's crazy, bro.
Again,
it's crazy.
This template has been set for a very long time. My favorite boxing heavyweight champion in the world, Joe Louis, at the end of his career to make money, went to professional wrestling. Of course, there wasn't as much money in, but look at Kurt Angle after his wrestling career. He was Olympian, went to pro wrestling. Look at Ken Shamrock after his UFC
Dan
career.
Severn.
I mean, so it's not like this is not unforeseen territory. And again, especially now with the dollars that you can make in the WWE. I mean, granted, there's still that risk of being hurt, but a lot less risk of CTE. I mean, again, you can get concussions. Ask Enzo Amore or whatever his name is now, Enzio or whatever the hell it is. But I mean, this is not unheard of. As far as Conor McGregor has teased that a couple times before. I mean, and tell me he wouldn't be a beast in the WWE, but he's got to clear up a lot of his legal stuff right now. It's a whole other can of worms, and how self-destructive he's been with the absolute gifts and blessings that he's been bestowed with. It's really sad, but again, like you said, Luke, the world of professional wrestling, man, it's a great to be a professional wrestling fan. Even when it was in its down cycles, I would love going to SICW shows. I would love going to Dynamo shows and drinking them 50-cent beers or whatever it was. This takes
shorty shots. Shorty shots, kid. Don't forget about the shorty shots. It's my favorite. Those were my favorite.
But yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah, I gotta throw something out here too, and I know Renee, you haven't really made a lot of reference to this, but I got to ask, with the things that have been going on as of late, what are your guys' views on the recent, I don't want to say resurgence because they're a new promotion, but what are your views right now, gentlemen, on the current state of AEW, All Elite Wrestling? I mean, they've made some huge strides as of late regarding the Double or Nothing event and the event that I have now, I believe it's in Lauderdale down in Florida. They've been making some huge strides too as of late. So I would be interested to hear your
I would say my little piece here. And I thought maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, all it takes is somebody with I can cuss, right? A shit ton of money, a bunch of money, surrounded himself or herself with people who know the wrestling business, and it could thrive. We saw that about 1.5 years, 2 years ago with the NWL. Major Bison had deep pockets, surrounded himself with some decent people who, Chris Gahn, a guy I'm going to be talking to in about an hour or two, Travis Bowden, old school Mid-South wrestling guy, Kentucky Fried Wrestling.
Fried Wrestling. Yo, tell Travis the Night Owl said what's up. That is a good damn guy, dude. I love Travis.
And it's so funny when I went and did my interview when they flew me down to the NWL compound and I did my little interview and audition. One of my phases of the audition was with Travis, and I had no idea who Travis was. And when I got home and looked him up, I'm like, are you kidding me?
We could have talked for hours.
Dude, I'm going to talk his ear off tonight. Believe me, I'm going to talk his ear off and kick myself in the ass because I didn't know who he was. But my point is, that guy who owns AEW, his dad is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's got deep pockets, and he's got some people surrounding himself that know wrestling. But to quote my man Herb Simmons, dude, longevity is the key in this game. You know what I mean? The NWL had to dip out for whatever reason, but it certainly was a financial thing. They just couldn't get it off the ground, et cetera, et cetera. So as much as even like the NWA, what I love them doing. Herb told me the other day, he's like, I love what they're doing too, dude, but longevity. And do they have the staying power with what they're doing? So AEW, even though they haven't really launched yet, they too, like I said, are filling this void. Heavy hitters like Billy Gunn are involved, Chris Jericho, et cetera, Kenny Omega. So they definitely have the possibility for doing something. Are they going to compete directly with WWE?
No. And they don't need to.
That's not even, no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, look, dude, this is going to be one of the lowest rated WrestleManias in history, in my humble opinion. And it's just been a trend that brand can't really shake because what does Jim Cornette say all the time? You can't miss me unless I'm gone. And WWE, I mean, they're just everywhere, and the programming really sucks. The product really sucks. And they're now trying to change the brand to get back to people like us, older cats. They're not doing the Mattel Parker Brothers style of wrestling anymore. But the train's already left the station, I think. I think we're a lot of people, especially our age and OG fans, we're just done. We're done with the WWE, dude.
Well, Jonesy,
in my humble opinion.
No, you know what? And Jonesy, I know you're always excited to talk to Jay Hollywood, but allow me to remind everybody just briefly before we continue in this interview. And Jay Hollywood, I know this was something you were super excited about because I know you're follically challenged, like your boy, the Night Owl. So I just want to remind everybody we do have this brand new partnership with Darko, with the Pace 7, which I'm holding in my hand right now. Guys, if you hate the New England Patriots, but you can't help yourself, you always buy Gillette because they got the best razors. Darko is an alternative. They're cheaper. They ship free. And the money doesn't go into the hands of Bob Kraft, who likes to sleep with women in, like, Fort Lauderdale massage parlors. It's very strange. No, it actually goes right back into the Wrestle Talk podcast to support the FWWC and the amazing watch parties that we do. Make sure you guys visit the merch booth at WrestleTalkPodcast.com for more information. And then also, if you want a customized beer mug, Luke Roberts, Jay Hollywood, I know you want yours. I know you're ready to get them, okay?
Oh,
that's the same place to go.
That's definitely coming.
Same place to go, guys. That's the merch booth at the WrestleTalkPodcast.com. That said, Nightmare Jones, why don't you jump on in here with Jay Hollywood and Luke Roberts?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's speaking awesome with what AEW is doing, and I'm excited as a wrestling fan because that means I get to watch more professional wrestling. And you got some people that are completely for AEW, some people that are completely against it. But me, I'm just happy to get to watch more professional wrestling. And if they put on shows like All In, oh my goodness, it's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing show. You know, you've got people like Kenny Omega and Nia Jax, and I mean, not Nia Jax, Nia
term there.
Ella Rose, and you know, so many different wrestlers. And I think AEW is definitely going to be amazing. But Jay Hollywood, I just have one question for you, real quick. WrestleMania, who's going to win? Becky Lynch, Charlotte, or Ronda Rousey?
I think, you know what? I could see Becky Lynch winning. I guess Charlotte just picked up Asuka's belt last night.
Yeah, the SmackDown.
Last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see her winning. They've been pushing her pretty hard, and I think with Charlotte getting the belt last night, I think Becky could win. I think Becky's probably going to win, but she's definitely not going to beat Ronda. I don't think Ronda's going to take too many L's. I could be wrong, but I could see Becky definitely doing it.
Well, absolutely.
Who knows though? Those three. I mean, those are some bad.
They're main eventing. Jay Hollywood, they're main eventing, bro. Is that huge? I think that's what you were going to ask, right, Jonesy? Because we did title tonight's show Ladies Night, and the ladies are getting their night on April 7th, bro. Jay Hollywood, you've been watching this for a long, long time, brother. It's a long time coming, man. Do the women truly deserve? Don't worry about the backlash, because I know you don't give a damn, okay?
You know, to answer your question,
do they truly deserve?
Without a doubt, man. Listen, man, you look at Charlotte Flair. She will stand on the top rope and do whatever that move is called with
moonsault,
a twist and the caner and hit somebody out. I mean, she is the best athlete, if not the best wrestler in the WWE right now. And then you got Ronda, this top elite level martial artist. I mean, I don't even really care about this. I mean, it's cool. Yes, it's absolutely cool. Almost like Barack Obama being the first black president. I guess we can mark it in the history books, but I don't even really get caught up on that. These are just amazing, amazing athletes that are just, I mean, the whole paradigm has really changed in professional wrestling when you think about it, obviously, because like you just said, you have a women's match leading, main eventing WrestleMania. You know, however many years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, someone asked Dana White, well, when are you going to have women fight in the UFC? Never. And look at how the women have just changed the game. And wrestling is absolutely no exception.
I think that the only thing that could make women's wrestling in the WWE any better is if they were to bring in Chris Cyborg. Oh my goodness.
Well, then you get into that whole trans thing, like identify as a woman when she's really a man.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, wait. Yo, Jay Hollywood, just do me a huge favor, bro. Just say that just one more time, bro, if you don't mind. Just one more time.
I was just saying that you would get into, like, you know,
don't clean it up.
Game stuff, bro.
Don't wait a minute. Don't clean it up. Say just how you said it.
Remember the game? No, the GameStop guy. I'm a man. I'm a woman, damn it. My shoulders are as big as Lyle Salcedo, but I'm a freaking woman. You start bringing Cyborg in, it's going to be like she's going to have to duct tape her cock down.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Do that. Cyborg's going to have to duct tape her package down and then come in and be a man, start beating up women. I'm not with that, dude.
Bro, ESPN is going to be mad at you if they hear that. I'm telling you right now. Woo!
Know that by now.
Oh, my dude. Yeah, they already know what they're getting with Jay Hollywood.
Well, in all honesty, and I joke. I mean, I don't knock any of these guys' hustle, man. If they're done getting their brains beat in the UFC, which the money is so darn short. I mean, the UFC, unless you're a star now, and especially now with the ESPN deal, cats are not getting paid like they used to. The Conor McGregors of the day are gone. These pay-per-view points on these packages are gone. So these guys are, you know, jumping ship and going to wherever they can thrive and make some money, dude. Chris Cyborg's awesome. She's beautiful. She's a fantastic athlete, an amazing martial artist. I think Ronda has set up with Vince, do not bring this woman in. So she might go somewhere else, but she ain't going to the WWE.
Wow. Like that.
You may well be right. Luke Roberts, here is my question for you. Recently, the Night Owl posted on the Wrestle Talk podcast that superstar Billy Graham is not a big fan of Kofi Kingston going to WrestleMania to face Daniel Bryan.
Let me read it, Jonesy.
He says that it's not.
Let me read it. Let me read it, bro. Can I read it?
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, because listen, I'm so glad you brought this up, Jonesy. That's why you're the best tag team partner on the planet, bro. So here it is, guys. This earlier from Billy Graham's Facebook page. This was last night, Tuesday night at 9 p.m. right after SmackDown ended, okay? And it is confirmed, yes, it is Billy Graham's Facebook page. And it says, pardon me, sorry, guys. All right, here it is. It says, its start captioned, is the WWE serious? It says, I turned on my computer today and went to the wrestling news sites, and what did I see? Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at Mania. Talk is Vince is going to put the WWE belt on Kofi Kingston. Shit. He said, shit, you, not me, will have a 145-pound WWE champion. This must have been an idea by the new creative lady, senior creative lady, Dana Warrior. Meltzer says she has been promoted to an extremely high position on the creative team and attends meetings that only Vince, Triple H, and Stephanie are in. Damn, how did she get so smart? My friend Hannibal has been monitoring the Monday Night Raw steady decline in TV viewership. Well, Hannibal, it dropped again last night in Boston, Monday, March 25th. Steady decline in TV viewership. I predict that this year's Mania will be so bad that next year, 2020, will not come close to selling out. The thrill is gone. Is anyone out there really excited to see these two lightweights wrestle for the WWE Championship? Oh, and one more thing. I would love to see Kofi at 145 pounds, but his newly won WWE Championship on the line against Brock Lesnar. Great logistics. One man being outweighed by a good 135 pounds. This is a total joke at this point.
On. How's that any different? How's that any different for Rey Mysterio or Daniel Bryan or Finn Balor or Seth Rollins? How much do those guys weigh?
About the same.
Oh, whatever. Superstar's always been a hated dude. As much as I love Superstar Billy Graham, he was the absolute man, and so many people stole from him. Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan, etc. Even Dusty Rhodes and something. He's pretty notorious for being a bit of a hater. Honestly.
Luke Roberts, your thoughts on this?
I'm gonna jump in here. First of all, thank you, Jay Hollywood, because you were thinking just like the way I was. You threw all those names out there. I think about an interview that Dusty Rhodes gave many, many years ago, talking about he's not the way that the athlete of the day is supposed to look. Now, a lot of people could talk trash about Kofi Kingston, but you've got to look at a lot of the facts here. Kofi Kingston is an innovator. He has been there, and a lot of what was said on WWE television makes a lot of sense. You don't hear a lot of complaints from people like Kofi Kingston. You have wrestlers that go out there, they make it a point to compete inside the squared circle. They give it their all each and every day. And again, Kofi Kingston, as of late, has just been on fire. And to me, one of the things I sat down and I talked with a very, very good friend of mine who's not necessarily a true wrestling fan of the day. They were a true fan of the 70s and 80s of the heyday of the NWA. And when you look at it, he sits there and they made the comment of Kofi Kingston being able to go and wrestle for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes. He's able to show that he can go. And I got to tell you right now, I agree to a certain extent. I understand where superstar Billy Graham is coming from. He's the idea that a lot of people, they have to be big and giant in the land of the muscular bodybuilders. But I'm going to tell you right now, to me,
that's been gone for years, like almost 20 years now. That's that whole paradigm.
Yeah, but to me, I'm really looking forward to this Daniel Bryan Kofi Kingston matchup because to me, these two men can innovate professional wrestling. And I, as a wrestling fan, I am really looking at this matchup as something that's going to turn a lot of eyes in professional wrestling. I really do.
Oh, y'all about to be mad at me.
Definitely can. And like you said, you were saying last week, Renee, you know, the New Day, and I think a lot of what Big whatever his name is,
Big E.
saying Big A, Big L, whatever.
Big E.
Sorry, wrong letter of the alphabet. I think some of that. I don't think that was necessarily a shoot. I think some of that was a work, because I think they're all trying to like get edgy. They're trying to go back to the attitude era and be edgy or whatever. But I absolutely agree. I think it'd be a great match. But like you said, man, these guys, New Day is so freaking over. It has been forever.
They've been over.
They've been over, and they hosted a freaking WrestleMania. It's kind of a culmination of years of building. The guy was a freaking tag team champ. He was an intercontinental champ. I mean, why would he not be worthy of the strap?
You know what, Jonesy? I'm gonna let you jump in here, bro, because I'm gonna make the closing argument, and y'all all about to be mad at me. Jonesy, what are your thoughts? Jonesy, are you there, buddy? Okay, well, you guys don't have to excuse me. Jonesy is actually helping intern Timmy screen some callers right now. So I want to make sure that I give him an opportunity to get started. Jonesy, are you back with us?
Yes, I am back.
Okay, I know you're helping the screen, bro. We got a ton of people on the line. FWWC coming up next. You guys hang tight. Go ahead, Jonesy. What are your thoughts?
Oh, you know, I think that, you know, Superstar Billy Graham comes from a older generation of wrestling where, you know, things were different back then. But I myself, I am happy to see Kofi Kingston against Daniel Bryan, and you know, whatever he was talking about is crazy, because Brock Lesnar raised a lot more than Finn Balor, but Finn Balor almost beat Brock Lesnar. AJ Styles almost beat Brock Lesnar. I mean, exactly. So you know, it's, you know, anything can happen. You know, just because somebody weighs a little bit more than somebody else doesn't mean they can't be beat. So, you know, I think that Superstar Billy Graham, you know, I don't think he completely gets it. Let's put it that way.
And again, he's done, you know, Vern Gagne. He went out of business because he couldn't change with the times. That's what, you know, change is the immutable law of the universe. And a lot of people just get stuck and attached to their way, their era. And like you just said, just, you know, don't go with the flow. But, I mean, yeah, he sounds a little out of touch to me. But, you know, each his own. Everyone has their own opinion.
Well, I'm going to give you guys my opinion, and you're probably going to try to boo me out of the room. But there is at least one man that is wise enough to agree with me and to help validate my point, and that is our friend Nigel Rabbit. And his comment on our Facebook Live feed is, wait. It's not been 20 years since the bodybuilder age. That's only recently come to a close, okay? And let me elaborate on Mr.
Recently, what's recently?
Well, when we could have him on, actually Nigel Rabbit scheduled to be a guest with us here within the next couple of weeks, so we can ask him that question directly. But let me jump on the Nigel Rabbit train in saying this. I think that the Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan main event is not a result of innovative thinking. It is a result of compensation, okay? And what I mean by that is pro wrestling and the people who orchestrate pro wrestling shows, mainly the writers, have forgot how to get the big guys over, okay? Let me explain. You have one of the most charismatic, oversized, powerful, and entertaining guys ripping cars apart and relegated to having rivalries with the host of SNL. Braun Strowman, who a year ago could have been in position to succeed, was derailed because they don't know how to put the big guys over anymore. They booed Roman Reigns out of the room. They booed Roman Reigns out of the room as a big guy. Nobody ever liked Big Show ever since he came over to the WWE. There's a handful of Big Show fans, but let's be honest, okay? Nobody's going out and buying Big Show merch, okay? This is the fault of the writers, not the talent. They don't know how to make a good guy big. How to make a big guy seem like a good guy. They don't know how to make the fans cheer for a good guy. It's just easier to say, let's put the little guy against the big guy. Poor little dude, cheer for the little dude. He's facing the big dude. See, when I was growing up, it didn't really matter. It didn't matter because you cheered for The Undertaker. You cheered for Kane. You cheered for the guys that had the size. Why? Because the character development was there. And maybe it was more elementary, and maybe I was younger in those days. Nobody's arguing that. But the science has not changed. What has changed is the writer's inability to write stories and develop and show and highlight the personality of the big guys in a way where, whether they're bad guys or good guys, the fans are interested in them. The big guys wrestle, and people go, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hold the people that write these stories, Jay Hollywood and Luke Roberts and Nightmare Jones, accountable for just not knowing how to do what the writers of yesteryear knew how to do. It's that simple.
Well, I would have expected, me personally, years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, a dopely written program for, like you said, Braun. If they did him right, Braun Strowman and Brock, like culminating in WrestleMania.
Bro, that would have been amazing.
I don't know if that was because Braun was too green. And you bring up a great point, man. I mean, again, this is kind of that generation gap. Are they feeding off of, like, who did I talk to? I mean, like Jim Ross and Cornette, they all say, like, it's not even real psychology, real kind of wrestling more. It's just a spot fest. All these little guys just want to get their shit in. That's all it really is. And so that's kind of what I think they're catering to, and they lose that psychological aspect. And I think that you raise a great point, man. Creative has always had they've had a huge problem low these last many years. That's why they're losing so many viewers. But I think it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. And like I said, you had your Benoits and your Eddie Guerreros. I mean, this was like early 2000s.
Super over.
Stone Cold and The Rock, they're not monsters.
No.
I mean, but they learned how to get those guys over. But there's always room for lack of a better term. When I say the Giants, I don't mean like Andre the Giant, but like the big dude.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal, Baron Corbin, guys like that. They don't know how to get him over. Yep.
I agree.
Awesome. Just quick thoughts from Luke Roberts. Sorry, Jay Hollywood. Quick thoughts from Luke Roberts and Nightmare. We have to transition into the FWWC segment, but we'll be right back, guys, to talk more wrestling with you guys. Chris Roedel will be joining us here in about 15 minutes. So I want to get everybody's thoughts in, and then you guys know when Chris Roedel is on, you guys are welcome to come back on and continue the conversation, because I'm sure we'll be talking about this and many, many more things, including Dynamo Wrestling, when DJ Big Sexy STL Roedel joins us here in about 15 minutes. Go ahead, Luke Roberts.
Well, I got to tell you right now, Chris Roedel is going to have an awesome recap with the Dynamo Pro Wrestling, having a huge event in DeSoto this past weekend, a lot of things taking place. Got a big event coming this weekend as well. A lot of big news coming out of DeSoto, a lot of big things with DJ Big Sexy Chris Roedel going to be on in just a few minutes. Guys, I got to tell you right now, we're just a few days away. A lot of things are going on in the world of professional wrestling. I mean, we could talk about the G1 taking place in MSG. We could talk about all the events that are going on in WrestleMania week. We could talk about all the other individuals coming into the world. But one thing is this: wrestling is on the tip of the tongues of a lot of wrestling fans. And I would agree with you on a lot of things, gentlemen. Professional wrestling is changing, and I think this competition, whether you talk about AEW, you talk about New Japan, you talk about Ring of Honor, you talk about the Lucha Underground and everything that they've brought to the table. I got to tell you right now, staying power is important, but I think right now, all these things going on in the world are going to open some eyes, because right now, things are changing. And I think for the wrestling fan, all of these things are going to lead to a lot of great things for the fan.
Options, man. That's options. It's good to have options.
Speaking of options, hey, Luke Roberts, quick question before we throw it to Jonesy and go to break. If you had to choose on Saturday night, April 6th, would you go to A, the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, or B, the G1 Supercard in Madison Square Garden?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot.
Yes!
There's going to be a lot of good things in there, but I got to tell you right now, to me, as much as you have all the names and all that, I got to tell you right now, to me, I would be looking at the G1. I mean, when you look at matches with having Ring of Honor and New Japan coming together, you have the IWGP Championship, I believe, being defended here on American soil. You've got a triple threat match for the Ring of Honor World title. You've got countless other matches here. You've got, I believe, GP versus versus Ring of Honor in the tag division as well.
Ooh.
I got to tell you, to me personally, it'd be a hard decision, but I think right now, based on what I've seen thus far, New Japan would probably get the nod from me.
Very, very.
That's during WrestleMania weekend in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, on the 6th, baby. It's the night before. Can you believe it?
See, now that alone just illustrates everything we're talking about right
now.
From All In selling out to that selling out Madison Square Garden the night before. Dude, that's huge. I didn't even know that.
Well, hey,
telling right there.
Wrestle Talk Podcast. Jay Hollywood, I got a question before we let you go, because you know the Night Owl and Nightmare Jones is how we like to do it. Go ahead and make your prediction as the certified kind of MMA expert on this call specifically. Do you think that Seth Rollins takes the belt from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Yes.
Wow, no reluctancy. That's going to get you a big Hollywood, I'm telling you right now.
Well, I mean, it's about time that Seth beats Brock, but Brock is about to bounce back to UFC and make some more money. They actually get his ass whooped and make some more money, but he's going back to the UFC.
No doubt. Jay Hollywood, thank you so much for your input. Jonesy, your thoughts before we go to break.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I think that Seth Rollins will beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and to add to, why Braun Strowman hasn't gotten his opportunity, it's not, I don't think it has to do with not knowing how to use him. It's the fact that he's gotten a lot of heat backstage. And wrestling is about politics. And if you have heat backstage, then, then...
They got you ripping up cars in the parking lot.
Then that could be another possibility, too.
So dumb.
So, it's just... So, but I understand. I definitely understand. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and go to break. And when we come back, we'll do the FWWC segment. And then we will get Chris Roedel on from Dynamo Pro Wrestling. How does that sound?
Sounds good. And you know what? The break song is pretty dope because the ladies are main eventing WrestleMania, baby. So we're going to hit y'all with some ladies' night from Little Kim and some of them old school rapper chicks that y'all forgot about, baby. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You heard?
Yeah. Here's another one. And another one. Yeah. Kim, the Queen Bee. This lady night, what? It must be Angie on the mic. The butter pea, honey, got the sugar, got the spice. Go to outside, keep the rhymes right, yo. I just break this mother last night. And I'm the rookie on this all-star team. Me and Kim is getting green. Like Thelma and Louise, but on pro. Never leave that privilege alone. So if you say it's on, then it's on. Bang this in your whip. Happy for the roadie with the chips in the wrist. Here's a fresh hit. I dismiss boys and chicks. This from the pulpit. Make it dance. Ow! I stay focused in the dope. Like a penny with the hole in it. Y'all just focus. I ain't lying. Trying to knock people. Keep trying. All it takes is one phone call to my street team. Promote that ass. Like the soundtrack from Jack. Hit it. Send it off with the 850. Y'all missing the book. With the bump, biggie, bump in the bump in my double. Let me see you do the bench hand. It's the rap made with the QB. And I got all my sisters and men.
Never the one packing a gun. Got some of the raw tricks for that. Lay your pants flat. I'll be the one choking your paragraph. We laugh, get you back up on the right path. Ain't no stopping the ladies from club. I can get my rock on. From flavors, so frozen at paradise, George. Booty shaking with the glass in my left one. Right hand saying step son. To me, my girl, this is one that straight snitches. And to some other Chico. Ladies just ain't taking that trip. If you ain't got the cash to stash, get your brick hole. Strictly your bell ringer. Lay another finger on this big bad witness lady rap singer. I be the one to blame, that's the blame. Keep Rising to the top, better don't
Yo, what up? Night Out, Nightmare Jones. What up, Wrestle Talk fam? Do it for y'all. Check me out. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Even them haters can't hate us no more. So unlock your door, cause we got some more. Every Wednesday we here, keeping it raw. Night Out, Nightmare Jones, and all the best guests. Like a double barrel pointed right at your chest. Wrestle Talk Podcast.com. Smashing and killing it like the night of the prom.
Night Out, killing it once again. Once again, I'm telling you, we need to have a music video to the Wrestle Talk Podcast freestyle.
Bro, you know, Jonesy, I completely agree. And it's funny because somebody asked me, they were like, what? Actually, listen, come here real close, everybody. Come here, real close. So my son was like, Dad, what do you mean smashing it, killing it like the night of the prom? And Jonesy, that was my reaction. All I could do was laugh, and I was like, I said, son, I said the night of the prom, I said a lot of awesome things happen on the night of the prom. Like you get to like dance and hang out with your friends, and maybe like you get to kiss a girl, and then I was like, right at the end, I was like, at the end of the night, Denny's. I said, Denny's. You get to go to Denny's at the end of the night. Isn't that great? Like around midnight when you're all done partying and stuff, you get to go to Denny's or Waffle House with all your friends. And he was like, really? Really at midnight? And I was like, yeah, boy, Waffle House. And that's how I got him off my trail, Jonesy. But when those of you who are a little bit more mature than my 9-year-old son probably know what I mean at the end of that freestyle when I say smashing it, killing it like the night of the prom. So that just that answers that, Jonesy. And I'll tell you what, hopefully we do get the music video going at some point. But man, before we get into FWC, Chris Roedel's going to run a little late for us today, only because we ran a little bit over on the first segment. So Big Sexy will be on here in about 10 minutes. So you guys hang tight. But bro, the FWC is going to rock it. I know that they are, but I had to thank my man Jay Hollywood for joining us in that first hour. Hopefully he'll come back on during the Chris Roedel interview, because that'll be a lot of fun. I know they know each other, and that could possibly create some good conversation. But if you guys get an opportunity after the show, check out It's Me Speaking to You. That's It's Me, SPKN, the number 2, you, all over YouTube. You can probably find the Apple podcast or Google podcast. Or really, you can just hit this link and hit the link that he put on the Facebook Live feed, because it's me speaking to you just from a few days ago with NWA champion Nick Aldis, a huge opportunity that Jay Hollywood had, and he had an awesome conversation. And then, of course, Luke Roberts representing Dynamo Pro Wrestling, also helping us with some of our media needs here on the WTP. Always great to have him, and hopefully he'll decide to call back in and join us for that conversation with Chris Roedel. You know, a lot of what happens here on the show, a lot of the wonderful guests that we have on here, Luke Roberts plays a huge part in that. Well, mainly because he can read and write and send emails, and Joe and I, well, the reading and writing thing isn't really our strong suit. So we need somebody to help us with that. So shout out to Luke Roberts. Jonesy, all that said, bro, it is time to transition in to this crazy segment. I don't know. We've been doing it for years, and the ratings always go up. But I always think like I just lose my mind a little bit during the FWWC segment, man. Do me a favor, tell people all about it, and let's go ahead and get into some of these callers, because they got a lot on their minds just a few days away from Universe Mania 5.
Absolutely. The FWWC, if you are wondering what it is fantasy wrestling. You got fantasy baseball, football, basketball, hockey, everything you can think of. But now you have fantasy wrestling. This is your opportunity to be as close to professional wrestling as you could possibly ever want. You create your own character. You get to cut promos. You have picks for matches, sometimes for championship belts. It is absolutely amazing. It is an amazing group of people. If you are a wrestling fan and you want to, meet some more wrestling fans, definitely go to the WrestleTalkPodcast.com, click on the FWWC thing, and you will be able to get set up, and you can become your own person in the FWWC, just like myself, Nightmare Jones, and you never know, maybe you'll be lucky and be brought into La Familia, which I must say, La Familia stole the show on Monday and Tuesday night, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, here we go again. I mean, honestly, I wish we could get through one segment where we didn't have to hear this La Familia propaganda. I know we got a lot of callers on the line, Jonesy, and truly, I just want to get through them today. Listen, a lot has happened. You say what you want to say as far as La Familia goes, but let's just keep in mind, 0 La Familia members were picked up during that last FWWC pick'em. And there's a man that I know is going to have a pretty strong opinion on that situation, and it is, of course, another member of La Familia Worldwide, a man who resides in the darkness and I guess is apparently starting a new, I don't know. These notes don't make any sense. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the host of the FWWC Tonight podcast, along with Curtis Black, Marcus Mayhem of La Familia Worldwide.
What's up, my brother?
Jonesy, Night Owl. It's good to hear from you again, Night Owl. How's it been going? How's the business been going? Looks like it's been going pretty crappy for you lately.
No, don't do this.
Enough is enough, Mayhem. Quit beating around the bush. Why are you here tonight? I don't call and interrupt your show. Why do you call and interrupt mine?
Night Owl, that's a good question. I called because I have a special message to a certain Funky Flex, my former partner of our former tag team. You see, not too long ago, I was done with him. I was bored with him. So I gave him a beat down. Me and my boy Corbin, we beat him down. And I got some news for you, Funky Flex. Guess what's coming up? Universe Mania 5. And guess who won't be having a tag partner for those tag belts? You guessed it, Funky Flex. Now you're asking about Marcus Mayhem. Well, that means you don't have a partner. Well, you're wrong, okay? Marcus Mayhem does have a partner. And that partner is no other than the man himself, the head of La Familia, El Mata. Oh, come on.
That is great news.
How is that great news? How is that great news?
It's Mata.
Mata hasn't had.
Mata is great news.
Marcus Mayhem, you assaulted Funky Flex. You co-signed the assault on Allison Shea Atticus. You almost broke Funky Flex's leg, okay? And now you're teaming up with a guy that hasn't had a match in 3 months? And by the way, the last match he had, I believe he lost the tag team championships along his partner in crime, Money Man Mills. You sound real confident for a guy that's teaming with a guy that has a huge target on his back.
You know what? That makes the person stronger. And what makes the difference from the past and now is that we do have targets on our back. You see, the heat is especially on me because of the orchestration of Funky Flex and Allison Shea Atticus' demise. And for the whole fact that El Mata shut down FWWC, we are by far the 2 most hated people in the group. So who else to tag team and tear down the FWWC and build it back up in La Familia's image? And that is me and El Mata. So me and El Mata, we're going to insert ourselves into this tag team championship picture at Universe Mania 5. And there's nothing nobody can do about it especially Funky Fresh, because he's on the outside looking in, and he's not going to be able to smell those tag belts because the boy ain't got a tag partner, period. And that, my friend, is adding salt to the wound, insult to injury, and I am loving it.
Geez, you know what, Marcus Mayhem? There's only one thing I can say about your behavior and how underhanded and absolutely disgusting everything that you do. I mean, I just... Can we please move on to the next caller? Jeez Louise, I'm sick and I wasn't ready to deal with this tonight.
Absolutely. All right, let's. Out his thoughts. He'll call back. How you doing, sir? It's just me and you right now. It's just me and you. It's Bishop and Nightmare Jones.
So me and you, huh? Me and Pugsley, right? You know,
See, you can call me Pugsley. That bothers me. That doesn't bother me. You can call me Pugsley all you want to. It's not going to change the fact that at Universe Mania, you're going to find yourself in a casket with me standing over top of that casket, holding my Continental Championship belt. And you never be seen again.
Let me say this, Jonesy. Didn't you and your brothers from La Familia have a boycott and not wrestling? So really, that means that you don't plan on being at Mania, do you? Universe Mania 5.
Oh, we're definitely going to be at Mania. See, what you don't understand is we were sending a message to Curtis Black.
And what's that? The La Familia is
No, here's the whole thing. See, Curtis Black and Xavier Singh thought they were going to get run up on La Familia by refusing to draft anybody from La Familia. So what did La Familia do? We took the script, we flipped it upside down, and we refused to have matches. So instead of Red Brand having 6 matches on Monday night, you know how many matches they had? 2. 2 matches. Because every other member of La Familia was in a match, and they didn't show up, so the match never happened.
Well, let me ask
you about sending a message.
Oh, sending a message? You mean like you tried to send a message to me this past week by trying to bust me upside the head with your fake IC title? How'd that work out for you, Jonesy? Huh? How did that work out for you?
You know what? It would have worked out a lot better if I didn't tell you what I was going to do. But that's okay. That's okay, because come Universe Mania, you won't be able to stop me. You won't be able to step in. Night Out, are you back yet so I can just walk away?
It's time to do whatever the hell you want. Let's get it on. Old man.
Well, listen, let's just hope that you can walk away for just a second and give enough time for one of our callers to call in. Listen, Joe, you and me are friends, okay? You're coming into town for Universe Mania 5, but every time we get in the fantasy wrestling segment, you turn into a big jerk. You're eating up all Chris Roedel's time, and it's absolutely disrespectful. So can you shut your mouth for 2 seconds and let the Bishop finish? Bishop, you got a lot on the line. You have now learned why this place is the mess that it is, and it is all because the members of La Familia Worldwide. You're seeing everything that's happening. What do you aim to accomplish come Universe Mania 5?
Well, the one thing that I plan on accomplishing is stuffing that little sawed-off Oompa Loompa of a troll into that casket and pushing him out into the great beyond. Nightmare Jones, I've watched you long enough carry that thought around like you won something. The only thing you're going to win from me is a beatdown. I dare you to try to stop me, because coming into Universe Mania 5, my first Universe Mania, I'm going in as champion. and I'm walking out as champion, and there's nothing you or your daddy El Mata can do about it, because you will.
Do we just Nightmare Jones? If you cut off the Bishop, I'm telling you right now, if you cut him off, I'm gonna see to it that your time is limited here on the FWWC segment. Jeez, Louis, we're gonna try to get the Bishop back, but oh, shut up, Nightmare Jones. You're full of crap. You've been full of crap from the moment you picked up the microphone. Jeez, Louise. You know what? We're gonna.
I am sitting here listening to the Bishop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. All right. Well, listen, as we try to reestablish that connection with the Bishop, let's go ahead and take a quick detour down to one of the roughest and most, let's just say, low-key, aggressive, and devastating neighborhoods in Kansas City. A neighborhood that is always on pursuit of the hustle. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about none other than Columbus Park. Big T, you're live.
No, that was a hell of a rhyme you spit, brother, on that freestyle.
Hey, you already know. Just do it for the culture, baby. You know how we do.
Hey, I love it, man. You keep that coming, all right? You need a video to that.
Do my best. Hey, Big T, I know you got the connections. Let's make it happen, Captain.
Hey, whenever you're ready, baby.
Let's go. What's up? What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, listen, the fact of the matter is, I got a lot on my mind tonight. Big T's contract's up after UN5, which makes him the hottest free agent in the world. So I think Xavier Satan needs to come to the round table and talk to Big T.
Well, Big T, I do have to ask this question. You currently are not holding a championship in the FWWC. You're a two-time Universal Champion. What exactly do you have in mind for Universe Mania 5?
Well, you know, I like to say I'm going in there to catch the gold, but I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go and do what I got to do to put my brand over the top that night.
And what about you personally? Do you have any aspirations to once again become the Universal Champion or possibly even the Warriors Heart Champion?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I want what's mine, and that's to hold all the gold on the red brand. It's coming to the Kansas City Connection and the Columbus Park. So save your faith. You better realize what you got ahead of you and in front of you and come to the round table because this Paisan's ready.
Well, Big T to Paisan, I only have one question for you. Your abilities in the ring are unquestioned. Your hustle is unquestioned. The only question we have is, will you finally actually physically show up to an FWWC live event at eSports on April 7th?
Hey, listen, as of now, Big T's schedule is cleared. Now, the question I have for the night owl is if Big T shows up at the door with cash in hand, will he let Big T through the door?
Fucking bullshit!
Big T, the Night Owl will never, and I mean ever, ever, ever turn down cash on delivery. COD accepted, homeboy. If you'll be there in Shawnee, Kansas at eSports, April 7th, starting at 4 p.m., you can guarantee as long as your cash is green, I won't be mean. Come on in, bro. I hope to see you there, Big T.
Absolutely, brother. You gentlemen have a good night.
Peace.
You too, sir. You too.
All right, Jonesy.
Be civilized.
You know what? Not too bad, except when Bishop was on, you decided to cut the man off. I mean, come on, man. Is that the
I hate Bishop.
Oh, shut your mouth, Jonesy. No one believes you. All right.
If Bishop, Night Owl.
What? What?
If Bishop was on fire in front of me, I wouldn't pee on him to extinguish him.
Right, Jonesy.
I hate the Bishop.
And that's a good thing because you drink so much that you would probably replicate the addition of kerosene to the Bishop being on fire. Put down the damn moonshine, the West Virginia moonshine, for 2 seconds and concentrate on your dang match. Well, listen, we got one last caller on the line. I don't really have any questions for this individual, but from what I understand, he has a message to deliver. And honestly, I'm going to go ahead and step away from this one because every time this gentleman comes on, things just get a very, very, very high level of creepy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the show, the one, the only Mike Voorhees.
WWC is the one, the only Voorhees. What I want to talk about is Universe Mania. Voorhees will be in attendance, but I have a special message. I won't say to that individual right now, but let's just say that his championship served purposes will be short-lived.
Did you?
He needs a throat drop or something.
Well, shut your mouth.
Napier,
you better not get me stabbed in here tonight. Don't you be egging on Voorhees, okay? Listen, I'm just one man. I'm not La Familia. I don't have 37 bodyguards around me at all times, okay? When Voorhees talks, you shut your damn mouth. I don't want any problems with this guy. None. None whatsoever.
Hey, you know what? He's closer to you than he is to me, so he's going to come out to you first, so.
Oh, no. No. We're just going to keep quiet. Thank you, Voorhees, for calling in. We really, really appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, oh, thank goodness. Fortunately, that brings us to the end of the FWWC segment tonight. We are running way, way behind on Chris Roedel's interview, but we promise to give you a solid 15-minute interview with DJ Big Sexy STL, and that's coming up here in just a moment. But before we bring him on, I wanted to remind everybody that we do indeed now have a merch booth section on the WrestleTalkPodcast.com that includes those fabulous dark code razors that I was talking to you guys about a little bit earlier. Listen, if you hate the New England Patriots, you want to look fresh, you want to save some money, and you hate paying shipping, this is the place to go. The merch booth at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Listen, we're not going to ask you to buy anything out of the ordinary. You already buy razors. I know my man Jay Hollywood uses them to shave his head. Listen, these are just as good, except the money doesn't go to the evil, hated New England Patriots. No, it comes to the Wrestle Talk Podcast so that we can keep providing you with the very best interviews, very best fantasy wrestling, and just very best trash talk in the podcast game every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Visit the merch booth at WrestleTalkPodcast.com for that. And, of course, as always, our trusty, customized Wrestle Talk Podcast mugs, which can have your name on it for only $20. If you take care of these things, they last you a lifetime. Trust me, it's a great, great investment. That said, Nightmare Jones, it is time to bring on our second feature. What?
I just have one quick question.
What?
I have one quick question. I can get anything engraved on my mug, correct?
Well, there's one exception, really.
Okay, what's that?
The exception is no logos. So, like, you can't get the NBA logo on it. You can't get the NFL logo. You can't get the FWWC logo on it. You can do a lot of things. We can't put logos from other companies on it. That's the only exception.
So you are telling me that if I wanted to, I could get Dutch Guys in Red Dead Redemption 2, right? If I wanted to.
Yes, or I could get Nightmare Jones's trash engraved onto my beer mug, and yes, that is an option. My goodness. Well, listen, I'm glad we're laughing now because as our friend Allison Shea Atticus said, when Voorhees came on, it got a little chilly in here. It's always a little creepy when that dude joins us. But enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. In a couple of weeks, we have our friend Nigel Rabbit join us on the show. We've got that awesome connection with MLW going on. We got Journey Pro tomorrow night. We got EPPW and ATWC coming up this weekend. And of course, New Breed Wrestling on Saturday night. But what you guys cannot forget is that Dynamo Pro over in St. Louis has been just as hot as anybody else in the pro wrestling business, running shows on consecutive weekends. They had a show last weekend. They're having a show this upcoming weekend. And here to tell us all about it is one of our very favorite guests ever. And we don't say that to everybody, okay? You go back and check the show. We don't just say that to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Our brother, longtime member of the Wrestle Talk family, DJ Big Sexy, STL, Chris Roedel.
I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me.
What is up, Chris Roedel? How you doing, sir?
What's up, Pam?
Big Sexy.
What's going on? I just have one quick question. Did the Snitch finally get his World Heavyweight Championship that he has been wanting for an entire year? Did he finally get his championship? That's all I need to know.
I don't hate to disappoint you, but yes, he has not gotten his title match. We are on day 513, according to him.
You realize that since you're on, he's going to end up calling in, and because
no, he's not.
I don't get it.
No, he's not.
Well, let's not ruin the show. But he might have a problem talking because he kind of got kicked in the chin on Saturday night. So he did not win his King Kong Bundy tribute match, the 5-count match that we had. So.
Well, you know what, Chris? Jonesy, just enough of that, okay? Your love for the Snitch and Rick Maverick and the volatile Curtis Wilde is sickening to my stomach, okay? So let's move on to something a little bit more tasteful, and that is everything that is going on in the world of pro wrestling. Chris, we know you follow it closely, and we got a ton of Dynamo stuff to cover, and I know we'll get to that here in just a moment. But, bro, the women are main eventing. Cain Velasquez has signed with a AAA. Rob Gronkowski is seen in a picture with WWE superstars and officials. We're talking about the G1 on Saturday that is already sold at Madison Square Garden before WrestleMania. We're talking about the women main eventing, which tonight's episode is called Ladies Night for a reason. There is so much going on. It almost seems like every person that we talk to has something different that they're excited about in the world of pro wrestling from the indie level up. What has you fired up today in the world of pro wrestling?
I'm honestly, it's WrestleMania season, baby. So, I mean, we're on that road to WrestleMania. We're almost there. I think I'm looking forward to NXT next Friday night because I think Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano in 2 out of 3 falls is going to be easily match of the year. So,
well, I think that's a great point. NXT, and people have heard me say this before. It is my very favorite promotion today. Indie, pro, whatever level, NXT is my very favorite. I'm curious, man. How disappointed were you to find out about the injury to the black-hearted one, Tommaso Ciampa? He was on a roll that we had not seen since AJ Styles came into the WWE. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa was hot, and now he's on the shelf for maybe 12 months or so. How disappointing was it to you? And do you think they did the right thing to try to compensate for his absence?
It's disappointing that you hear about any time a wrestler gets injured because, you know, it's not, like someone said one time, it's not ballet out there. So, I mean, and it seemed like they were setting, like Triple H said, he was going to set up Ciampa versus Gargano for NXT takeover. And it just comes at a bad time. Apparently they were trying to get him through Mania weekend and then have the surgery, but he went and saw a doctor. Apparently he said, no, you have to have the surgery now. So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's disappointing, but that's going to give him the drive. That's going to give him the drive to come back even stronger the next time. So, I mean, that's just my thought on that. I think injuries happen. It's disappointing, but Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, give me all that. Take my money.
Yeah, and you know what, Chris? I don't know if you saw the video. We had the opportunity to go down to World League a couple of weekends ago. Sorry we missed you. Yo, what's up, Mike? Shout out. Got a guy named Mike saying, tell me to I don't know what he's saying. But we had an opportunity to go down to World League and meet Adam Cole. And he was one of the coolest guys on the planet, okay? It was humbling, you know what I mean, to meet a guy that's at that level. I think they've done an outstanding job of recouping themselves and making up for the loss, okay? You got such a big show coming up. Tommaso's been such an important part of the storyline up to this point. I personally think they're doing a great job by choosing Adam Cole, but I don't know if the same can be said for some of the stuff that's going on the main roster. I know you're a huge fan of women's wrestling, and you've been following most of the storylines pretty closely when it comes to what's going on in WWE, especially with the women and the women's tag championship. How satisfied are you, Chris Roedel, with Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Bayley, and of course Sasha Banks, the champions, and then Tamina and Nia Jax competing for the women's tag championships at WrestleMania?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I mean, it's the newest belt that should be on the biggest show of the year. I originally read where they were going to do a chant where they're going to do a fatal four-way where a team from NXT, a team from SmackDown, and a team from Raw was going to compete for the titles. Instead of the team from NXT, they decided to throw Natty and Beth in there, and I'm okay with that because Beth looks like she could still go. I don't really have any use for Tamina. I mean, Nia's okay, but I don't have any use for Tamina. And I mean, the Iconics are just they're there. They're Jim Roberts' favorite team. So
that's awesome. Now, and I'm not sure at this point, Jonesy, can you confirm or deny that the Iconics are a part of this match at this point?
Yes, I believe that they are. Hold on 1 second. I will be able to tell you in 1 second. And it looks like, yes, the Iconics are. It is going to be Sasha Banks and Bayley against Beth Phoenix and Natalya against the Iconics against Nia Jax and Tamina.
All right, so Chris, now that we know the full card, who is your favorite to walk out of WrestleMania with the newly introduced WWE Women's Tag Team Championships?
I think Bayley and Sasha retain their belt, so yeah, they're gonna retain. I think the next champions will probably be the Riot Squad. So,
Jonesy, I gotta know what you think because I personally am a huge Iconics fan. I believe that they should have walked out as the first ever women's tag team championships in WWE. You know why? Because they're a real tag team. Sasha and Bayley have gone back and forth so much.
Yeah.
They're better rivals than they are a tag team. If you ask me, go back to 3 years ago when they won Match of the Year in NXT. But that's just me. I just love the Iconics. That's just the night out.
You know what? I would have to agree with you. I am definitely going to go with the Iconics. I would love to see the Iconics win, just because people hate them so much. Like, they're doing such a great job. There's people that absolutely hate the Iconics, and that's freaking awesome. I would have to say the only match that I'm not really, that kind of makes me mad is Kurt Angle against Baron Corbin. I think they could have had somebody else besides Baron Corbin to face Kurt Angle for his final match. It should have been Kurt Angle against John Cena. Kurt Angle was John Cena's first opponent on the main roster, and it should be Kurt Angle against John Cena. That's just my opinion.
Or it should have been, or it could have even, I could have even seen them do Kurt Angle versus Shelton Benjamin. So.
Yeah.
But apparently Kurt's being able to pick his opponents on this retirement tour. So
Cool. And that match with him and Samoa Joe was great. I really enjoyed it, even though Kurt lost. I thought it was great. Here's what my suggestion is, and a big shout out to Herb Simmons. I want to know who somebody like Herb Simmons would book against Kurt Angle. I mean, Herb Simmons is a guy that's been around for such a long time. Herb, if you're still listening, we'd love to know, if you had the pen in your hand, who would you put against Kurt Angle in his final match at WrestleMania? Dying to know. Let us know if you have an opinion on that. But, Chris, let's transition here a little bit. You've been pretty busy, and we know Wild Country is no longer in operation, but Dynamo Pro is on fire. You guys had a show last weekend. You got a show this upcoming weekend. And then, according to Luke Roberts, you got some pretty awesome stuff coming up over the spring and summertime. Why don't you bring us up to speed and some of the stuff that's got your attention?
Well, in April, well, obviously this Saturday we have our show at Concordia. We're back at Concordia Turner's Hall in South St. Louis. Advance tickets are available right now at dynamoprowrestling.bigcartel.com. You can get your advance tickets. Save you some money at the door because they're more expensive at the door. I don't have any match announcements yet. They're working on it based on some of the stuff that happened on last in DeSoto. We'll talk about that just here in a minute. But we just found out that we're going to have a Thursday night show. It's going to be an outdoor show, April 16th, I believe. It's going to be at Gateway Harley Davidson on Lime Ferry Road, which is like right down the street from me. I could walk there if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I could though.
You wouldn't be big sexy if you did.
Right, and it's gonna be from 6 to 8, I believe. It's just probably 3 or 4 matches. It's outdoors. It's called Bikers Beer and Body Slam. So that's Gateway Harley Davidson. The Saturday before that, we returned to Foo Bar for the Dynamo Pro Underground Series. That's where we get a little bit edgier. We're family friendly, but when we go to the Foo Bar, we go a little underground and get a little edgier. So, and then we hope to be back in Concordia in April as well. So we got a lot of great things. I believe the Ride on the River tournament's going to make its way back this summer. The Stitch is the current Ride on the River champion, so but he still hasn't got a title match, so it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe. I absolutely love that you had to throw Joe's name out there because we all know how much he loves Ozzy Gallagher and the Snitch and Rick Maverick and Valentine Curtis. Wow. Jonesy, why don't you jump on in here with Chris Roedel, man, with the little bit of time we got left before we get into trivia.
Did Joe go to the bathroom again?
No, I think he fell asleep this time. Jonesy, no, it's all good, bro. I'm only throwing to him because I'm obligated to. Like, you and I could totally continue this conversation without Jonesy. Jonesy, are you still there?
Oh.
Jonesy going once.
So,
wait, hold on. Jonesy going twice. I don't know. Hey, I guess Jonesy is in the bathroom. Chris, go ahead, jump on in. I think you had some other thoughts.
Yeah, well, I just want to talk a little bit about the show from DeSoto this past week. We had to cancel we were supposed to have a show, but there was a snowstorm that came in, so we had to cancel our show there. So this was the makeup date, and it was an awesome show. Ricky Cruz beat the Stitch in the 5-count challenge. He's apparently got kicked in the chin with Ricky Cruz's super kick. So that happened, and then we got to talk about these Agents of Chaos. The team of Big Vic Von Stein and Xavier Shadows. They've had some issues lately, and they came to blows again after their match on this past week. So it was I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. They might need couples therapy. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of Chris, speaking of couples therapy, Nightmare Jones because of Russian hackers. So wow. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know. Jonesy, are you back or what?
Yes, I'm back. Damn hackers. No. What it was I got hacked, I got kicked off, and I got a message, and it said if I don't get my heavyweight championship match soon, Chris Roedel is going to be deleted permanently. The snitch. That's what it said.
Someone
asked.
Johnny.
That can't be real. That can't. Okay, well, listen. Now that we've got you back, wait a minute. Now that we got you back, okay, let's go ahead and kick off tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. But before we do that, WrestleTalkPodcast.com, guys, our merch is on fleek, as the young people say. I'm not sure what fleek means. Could be a bad thing. But what I'm saying is it's dope. So check it out. All right. Nigel Rabbit, yes, I agree. It should definitely be Corbin over Cena. But if it wasn't Corbin, I would love to see somebody from NXT come up and get that rub. Somebody like Matt Riddle. I think he would go over huge with the New York crowd at WrestleMania. I know that sounds super crazy, but I think that could be us, putting the rocket pack on a kid without really anybody knowing his name at this point outside of us wrestling marks. But that said, Nightmare Jones, go ahead and cue the music. Intern Timmy, let's get into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. All contestants are the night out Renee Martinez and the voice of Dynamo Pro Wrestling, Chris Roedel. In a few moments, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, just shout out your answer, and the first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's Game Show Challenge. Tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge category is called Who Was That Masked Man? And in a moment, I will give you clues about 3 accomplished masked professional wrestlers. When you think you know who I'm talking about, just shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's contest. It's pretty simple. I'll give you a couple clues. You shout out your answers. Whoever gets the answer right gets the point. Best 2 out of 3 win. Pretty simple. Chris Roedel, are you ready?
We've done this before. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. This masked superstar began his career without a mask in the AWA. After some time in Global Wrestling Federation, he moved to the WWF and feuded with Bret Hart, among others. He also wrestled in WCW with Marcus Alexander Bagwell as a two-time WCW Tag Team Champion? Stars and Stripes.
The Patriot.
The Patriot would be correct. That is correct. Chris Roedel has
Which
won the
Patriot?
Night Owl
Which Patriot is what I want to know.
on the board.
Which Patriot?
That one doesn't matter.
What's that?
Which Patriot? It better be Dale Wilkes this time.
It probably was Dale Wilkes.
You have no idea. Damn you in these
Question
questions.
number 2.
Damn you in these questions, Jonesy.
Question number 2. This man's professional wrestler has wrestled all over the world, both with and without a mask. A legend in Japan, he has held the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship on a record 11 occasions. His in-ring personnel was taken from a popular Japanese superhero. He has wrestled in WCW. He has also taught a signature palm strike to Cheeseburger in Ring of Honor.
Jushin Liger?
Jushin Thunder Liger is correct. Chris Roedel has 2 points. The Night Owl still not on the board. All right. This is your chance, Night Owl, so you don't get swept.
Oh, shut your mouth. Just answer. Just ask the question.
This man's professional wrestler began his career at the age of 14 in Mexico. Originally known as Cobra, his matches with Psychosis and ECW opened the eyes of many professional wrestling fans.
Eddie Guerrero.
Former WCW Cruiser.
Juventud.
A former WCW Cruiserweight and Tag Team Champion, he lasted 62 minutes in the 2006 Royal Rumble, Roedel to win. Wait a minute. You are correct. So Chris Roedel said Rey Mysterio first. Rey Mysterio is the correct answer. For some reason, I was thinking of something. I was reading something else.
No, he didn't. He said Juventud.
Chris Roedel.
He said Juventud. Man, you know what? Whatever. I'm sick of you, Jonesy, and your shenanigans. What? That's not even right. I want to recount. I demand it at some point along the line. Just play.
I tell you what. What? We would do the alternate question. Okay, here's the alternate question. This man's professional wrestler has wrestled in WCW and TNA. Known for his comedic tag team with Super Eric and Curry Man, he went on to impersonate Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you know who he is, give me a shell. Yeah. Shark Boy is correct. Chris Roedel has won the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. He has swept the Night Owl. So this is your music for winning the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Intern Timmy, if you would.
DJ Johnny!
Yeah.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank all the little people that made this happen. I'd like to say that the city of Kansas City sucks. But, no, just kidding. Anyway.
Well,
Night Owl?
Well, since I'm not a man that garners resentment, and I'm not salty, you know, like I could take a loss. I'm 34 and a half years old, so like I can take a loss. So really the only thing I can say is, how's your football team going to do next year, St. Louis? How you like?
Wow.
Well, that said, the St. Louis Blues are doing a lot better than the Kansas City. Never mind. Chris Roedel, congratulations on a huge win tonight on the Wrestle Talk Podcast game show, bro. Always fun, always a pleasure. You know we like talking trash and shooting the shit, dude. And as always, you freaking killed it. So thank you very, very much. As a valued member of the Wrestle Talk family, man, we hope that everything continues to freaking rock on for you, man, through the WrestleMania weekend. And at some point, bro, we're going to sit down and chow down here in KC, because I know you've been looking forward to some Joe's KC barbecue, baby.
Yes. We definitely need to sit down and have a good time and just relax and talk about wrestling and everything. And it's great. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's a great time to be an indie wrestling fan. It's a great time to be just in general. Wrestling is great. If you don't like something, don't put it down. Just move on. Just do you.
I agree. All right, Jonesy, go ahead and close us out, baby. And we're going to close it out with I'm Too Sexy for My... That's what we're going to close it out with tonight. Chris Roedel at DJ Big Sexy STL, killing it, the voice of Dynamo Pro Wrestling. Chris, thank you for being there when I was first introduced to Dynamo Pro Wrestling and just being such a freaking warm and loving and awesome guy. You're one of the reasons that I kept going out to St. Louis, bro. Love you so much. Talk to you soon, baby.
You need to get back up to St. Louis yourself for the show one of these times.
I know, I've been up there for Anarchy, been up there for Glory. Maybe it's time for the Wrestle Talk podcast to once again have the honor of sitting ringside at a Dynamo Pro show. Maybe we got to set that up for later this year. I don't know. You guys got to stay tuned to find out. WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Jonesy, say goodnight. And let's close it out strong, baby, because next week's show is going to be just as dope. Chris Roedel, thank you. Luke Roberts, thank you. Jay Hollywood, thank you. FWWC, thank you, God, for making every day possible. That's me. I'm the Night Owl. I'm out. Jonesy, close us out, baby. You know what to do.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 239. What an amazing, amazing, amazing show. Thank you to everybody that made this possible. Thank you to Luke Roberts. Thank you to Walter from Joni Pro. Thank you to Jay Hollywood, to Chris Roedel, to everybody in FWWC. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Until next week, peace!
I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave. It hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Good night, everybody. Yeah, let's try it again. It worked great, actually.